Everybody's heard about the Aztecs. Everybody's heard about the Maya. But before the Aztecs and before the Maya, there were a culture who are referred to as the Olmecs. I explored the Olmec mystery in considerable depth.
At the turn of the 19th to the 20th century, an era brimming with curiosity and the spirit of discovery, the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica began to captivate scholars and adventurers alike. This period, steeped in Victorian-era fascination, saw ancient cultures not as relics of the past, but as windows into a grand, albeit lost, world.
The settlement story of the Americas is much more complicated than we've realized.
Fueled by a mix of exploration, colonization, and a penchant for romanticizing the unknown, people were drawn to the mysteries that ancient societies held. Institutions in Europe and the United States, including museums and universities, recognized the value of understanding these indigenous civilizations. They began to fund expeditions, not just for the sake of collecting artifacts, but to delve deeper into the history and culture of these ancient peoples. This marked a significant shift in archaeology, transforming it from a quest for treasures to a scientific discipline focused on careful excavation and analysis.
This is part of a curious mystery that is not unconnected to the genetic mystery.
The Olmec civilization, with its colossal heads and intricate stone structures, was one of the earliest to be uncovered. Yet in these initial stages, many artifacts were mistakenly attributed to the more familiar Maya and Aztec civilizations. This was largely due to their apparent similarities in artistic style, and because these civilizations were better understood at the time.
It's been known by archaeologists for quite a long time that there are anomalous skulls in parts of Brazil.
The unique aspects of Olmec art and iconography were not immediately recognized, highlighting the challenges faced by early archaeologists in differentiating between the complex cultures of the region. Two figures who played a pivotal role in bringing the wonders of Mesoamerica to the Western world were John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood. Their expeditions, documented in Incidents of Travel in Central America, Chiapas and Yucatan, and Incidents of Travel in Yucatan, not only introduced the Maya civilization to many, but also set a standard for future archaeological work. Their detailed illustrations and engaging narratives captured the imagination of the public, sparking a wave of interest in ancient Mesoamerican cultures. This era also saw the beginnings of comparative archaeology, where discoveries from Mesoamerica were placed in a global context, offering new perspectives on the development of human societies. Museums evolved from mere collections of curiosities to centers of research and education, significantly contributing to the dissemination of knowledge about these ancient cultures. Furthermore, the late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed the emergence of interdisciplinary approaches in archaeology, incorporating anthropology, linguistics, and even early environmental science, which enriched the understanding of Mesoamerican civilizations. The story of how the colossal stone heads became recognized as a key to understanding the Olmec civilization is a fascinating tale of curiosity, exploration, and eventual enlightenment within the archaeological world. Initially stumbled upon by Western archaeologists in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these massive sculptures, some towering over 9 feet tall and weighing several tons, presented a mystery.
But what's fascinating about them is they are supposedly the first high civilization of Central America.
With their distinctive facial features, including flat noses and fleshy cheeks and often adorned with helmet-like headgear, they captivated those who found them but left many questions unanswered.
What do we think those helmets were that they were wearing?
Nobody knows, because no physical example of such a helmet has ever been found, just like no physical example of an Egyptian pharaoh's crown has ever been found.
The first significant acknowledgement of these heads came from José Melgar Serrano in 1862, when he uncovered one at Tres Zapotes in Veracruz. Melgar described the sculpture as having Ethiopian features, a reflection of the era's interpretations and biases, underscoring how little was known about the Olmecs then. Although Melgar's discovery was groundbreaking, it was initially seen as an isolated find rather than evidence of a broader, unknown civilization. For decades, these colossal heads were viewed more as curious anomalies rather than vital cultural artifacts. Without a wider archaeological context, their true significance was overlooked, and they were sometimes wrongly attributed to other known civilizations like the Maya or Aztec, or even to entirely speculative, unknown cultures. It was a puzzle missing its broader picture, waiting for the pieces to be put together. The narrative began to shift in the mid-20th century, thanks to more focused and systematic excavations in the Olmec heartland, led by archaeologists such as Matthew Stirling. These efforts unearthed additional colossal heads alongside other artifacts, helping to piece together the puzzle of the Olmec civilization. It was through this dedicated work that the Olmecs were finally recognized as a distinct and influential culture in Mesoamerica, predating and potentially influencing subsequent civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs. In 1945, a groundbreaking expedition led by Matthew Stirling to San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan dramatically advanced our understanding of the Olmec civilization, an enigmatic culture that laid the foundational stones of Mesoamerican history. Recognizing the potential significance of these sites, the Smithsonian Institution stepped in, providing the necessary support and funding for a more thorough exploration. The vastness of San Lorenzo, spreading across several kilometers, presented another hurdle. It was impossible to excavate the entire site in one go, so Stirling and his team had to make strategic decisions about where to dig, prioritizing areas where surface finds indicated the presence of significant artifacts. This meticulous approach to excavation was critical, requiring careful planning, mapping, and a methodical technique to ensure the delicate artifacts, some centuries old, were preserved for future study. As they cleared the jungle overgrowth and dug into the ancient soil, Stirling's team was not just unearthing artifacts, they were also piecing together the story of the Olmec civilization. Every artifact, every stone, and every fragment of pottery added a new chapter to our understanding of this ancient culture. The detailed recording and documentation of their findings were essential, providing a basis for future analysis and helping to paint a fuller picture of the Olmec way of life. San Lorenzo, dating back to around 1200 to 900 BCE, stands as a monumental beacon in the study of Mesoamerican history, often celebrated as the oldest major city in the region. This ancient city predates the civilizations of the Maya and Aztecs, providing a unique glimpse into the dawn of complex societies in the Americas. Thanks to radiocarbon dating, researchers have been able to pin down the timeline of San Lorenzo, offering a clearer view of the Olmec civilization's early days. Among the most striking discoveries at San Lorenzo, the site has yielded jade figurines and celts, indicating robust trade networks and the cultural significance of jade. An array of pottery styles found at the site offers insights into daily life, artistic expression, and the Olmec's trade relations. The discovery of large structures, including platforms and possible elite residences, points to a highly organized society capable of mobilizing significant labor resources. The urban layout of San Lorenzo, organized around a central axis, reflects a thoughtfully planned development. The existence of distinct ceremonial and residential areas suggests a sophisticated urban structure, possibly mirroring social hierarchies within the Olmec society. In the 1950s, the archaeological spotlight turned to La Venta, an Olmec site in Tabasco, Mexico, building on the momentum of earlier discoveries at San Lorenzo. This shift marked a significant phase in unraveling the mysteries of the Olmec civilization, regarded as one of the earliest complex societies in Mesoamerica. With a renewed interest in the Olmec culture, archaeologists like Philip Drucker and Robert Heiser applied advanced methods and interdisciplinary approaches to dig deeper into the site's secrets, offering a more comprehensive understanding of this ancient civilization. La Venta thrived between approximately 900 to 400 BCE, a period that witnessed the peak of Olmec cultural and artistic development. This era underscored the Olmecs' remarkable achievements in architecture, art, and urban planning, setting a precedent for subsequent Mesoamerican cultures. Among the distinct features of La Venta is the Great Pyramid, a monumental structure made of earth and clay, noted for its unique conical shape. Unlike the pyramidal structures that would later dominate Mesoamerican landscapes, the Great Pyramid's design and scale highlight the Olmecs' advanced engineering skills and their capacity for organizing large-scale construction projects. This pyramid, along with other structures at the site, was aligned with celestial bodies, hinting at the Olmec's sophisticated understanding of astronomy and suggesting its role as a ceremonial and cultural hub. The systematic excavation efforts at La Venta brought to light not only architectural innovations but also a wealth of artifacts, including the iconic colossal heads carved from basalt, believed to represent rulers or significant figures within Olmec society. Similarly, altars adorned with intricate carvings provided glimpses into the civilization's mythology and rituals. La Venta also revealed complex burial sites and offerings, including serpentine mosaic pavements, which offered insights into the civilization's funerary practices and religious beliefs. These findings have been instrumental in piecing together the social structure, religious practices, and artistic achievements of the Olmec civilization, significantly influencing the study of Mesoamerican archaeology. However, the preservation of La Venta faces challenges due to the tropical climate and human factors, underscoring the importance of ongoing research and conservation efforts. The exploration of La Venta in the 1950s was a watershed moment in understanding the depth and complexity of the Olmec civilization, providing a foundation for future studies and ensuring the legacy of this pivotal culture in Mesoamerican history remains appreciated and preserved.
For centuries, the Amazon was viewed as a pristine, untamed wilderness, a green desert so dense and difficult that the idea of any large-scale civilization ever taking root there was dismissed as pure fantasy. We were profoundly wrong. Deep in Ecuador, hidden beneath a near-impenetrable jungle canopy, archaeologists using laser technology have uncovered a shocking secret: a lost valley of cities. It's a discovery so massive, so revolutionary, it's forcing us to rewrite a huge and foundational chapter of ancient history. These aren't just a few scattered villages. It's a 2,500-year-old urban landscape that predates any other known complex society in the Amazon by over 1,000 years. For more than 2 long decades, archaeologist Stephen Rostaing relentlessly excavated a series of strange mounds and half-buried roads in Ecuador's Upano Valley. He was convinced they were man-made, a sign of something significant, but his academic peers were skeptical. The jungle itself felt like an adversary, guarding its secrets, making it impossible to see the full picture. Then everything changed. A plane, specially equipped with advanced LiDAR laser technology, was flown over the valley. For days, it shot billions of precise light pulses through the dense canopy, measuring the echoes that bounced back to map the hidden ground below. When Rostaing and his team finally saw the processed data, they were utterly stunned into silence. Before them on the screen was not just a collection of mounds, but a sprawling, impossibly interconnected network of ancient cities that had been completely erased from memory and hidden for millennia. The LiDAR scans revealed what no human eyes had seen for nearly 1,500 years. Hidden under the sea of green was a massive urban landscape covering over 115 square miles, 300 square kilometers. This wasn't a random collection of buildings. This was sophisticated urban planning on a mind-boggling scale. The data uncovered more than 6,000 rectangular earthen platforms. These were not simple huts. They were huge, raised foundations for homes, plazas, and grand ceremonial buildings, all meticulously arranged in clusters of 3 to 6 around a central plaza. Some platforms were enormous, with one measuring an incredible 140 meters long by 40 meters wide. In total, the team identified at least 15 distinct organized settlements. But the most shocking part was how they were all connected. The cities were linked by a vast web of impossibly straight, wide roads. Some of these arteries stretched for up to 15 miles, 25 kilometers, connecting the city centers. These weren't simple dirt paths trampled into the ground. They were engineered highways, up to 33 feet wide, dug down and banked on the sides that cut across the landscape, often intersecting at perfect right angles. This level of engineering, labor, and central planning had long been considered utterly impossible in the Amazon. So who built this incredible jungle metropolis? Archaeologists attribute the sites to the previously little-known Kilimopi and Upano cultures. The most stunning fact is their age. Construction began around 500 BCE, a full 2,500 years ago. This makes the society over 1,000 years older than any other known complex Amazonian civilization. These cities were already thriving while the Roman Empire was just beginning its ascent in Europe. Population estimates, while difficult, are staggering. Researchers believe the valley housed at least 10,000 to 30,000 people at its peak, with some suggesting the wider region could have supported over 100,000. That's a population comparable to Roman-era London. These people were true masters of landscape engineering. The valley is dominated by the very active Sangai volcano, which makes the land incredibly fertile, but also dangerously unpredictable. To manage their environment, they built a massive network of drainage canals and surrounded their cities with agricultural land and hillside terraces to grow crops like maize, beans, and sweet potatoes. They didn't just survive in the jungle, they commanded it, bending the entire landscape to their will. This discovery does more than just add a new ruin to the map. It fundamentally shatters the romanticized, long-held image of the Amazon as a pristine wilderness. It provides the most dramatic proof yet that the Amazon was a bustling center of large-scale, highly organized societies. For years, researchers like Stephen Rostaine were met with skepticism for suggesting such civilizations could exist there. The academic world largely dismissed the idea. This find is their ultimate vindication. It proves that a lack of stone buildings, like those of the more famous Incas or Maya, does not mean a lack of complexity. The Upano people built with earth, the most abundant material they had, and with it, they created a thriving urban landscape that lasted for a millennium. Archaeologists are calling this garden urbanism, a unique kind of city where homes, ceremonial centers, and infrastructure are seamlessly woven into the agricultural landscape that sustained them. The entire environment was engineered by humans on a massive scale. This discovery forces us to reconsider what a city can even be, and reminds us that what we've found so far may just be the tip of a very large hidden iceberg. Like all great ancient civilizations, this one also came to an end. The Upano society flourished for a remarkable 1,000 years, but sometime between 300 and 600 AD, the cities were mysteriously abandoned. The leading question is, why? What could possibly happen to cause tens of thousands of people to walk away from the world they had built over generations? One major theory points directly to the colossal Sangai volcano that looms over the valley. The same volcano that provided the fertile soil for their farms may have become their destroyer. It's theorized that a major eruption, or perhaps a series of them, could have buried their fields in thick ash, poisoned their water, and choked the life out of their society, forcing a mass exodus. However, more recent studies suggest the decline may have been more gradual. The LiDAR scans also show that some settlements were protected by defensive ditches, suggesting that internal conflict, warfare, or social collapse could be other possibilities that chipped away at their civilization. For now, the final chapter of the Upano people remains a mystery we are only just beginning to piece together. The discovery of the Upano Valley cities is a paradigm shift in our understanding of the deep past. It's definitive proof that for thousands of years, the Amazon has been a center of innovation, engineering, and vast human societies. Using lasers that can effectively see through time, researchers found a civilization on a scale that rivals other famous ancient societies in Mexico and Central America. They found a world where tens of thousands of people lived in planned cities connected by highways, all built 2,500 years ago. This lost world, hidden in plain sight, forces us to ask a thrilling question. What else is out there, concealed just beneath the canopy? The jungle guarded the secret for 1,500 years. Now that it's out, it has not only changed our view of the past, but promises a future filled with even more incredible discoveries. The search for El Dorado was always a myth about a city of gold. It turns out that was the wrong thing to be looking for. The real treasure was the city of Earth.
It's interesting that the patterns are geometrical. Someone made it,
Yeah.
and it involved a very large amount of organized labor in order to make it. There had to be the will and the intent in order to do that.
Nestled on the outskirts of Cusco, the once thriving capital of the Inca Empire, lies the enigmatic site of Sacsayhuaman. This marvel of ancient engineering has captured the imagination of historians and archaeologists alike, thanks to its remarkable architectural features.
I would prefer to propose, and I have proposed, that what we're looking at is evidence of some kind of transfer of technology, that people came into that area who had other knowledge.
The site, believed to have been a royal estate or a sacred space for Inca leaders, is most famous for its colossal stone walls, forming three-tiered terraces that zigzag across the landscape like the teeth of some giant beast. The sheer size of the stones used, some tipping the scales at a staggering 200 tons, and the precision with which they're fitted together is nothing short of awe-inspiring.
This is a very neglected area of the world as far as deep and ancient archaeology goes.
The joints between these massive boulders are so meticulously crafted that they leave no space for even a sliver of paper to pass through, showcasing an advanced knowledge of stonemasonry and perhaps an understanding of seismic activities, as these structures have withstood numerous earthquakes over the centuries. While mainstream archaeology attributes these feats to the Incas' sophisticated engineering skills, using simple but effective tools and techniques, Graham Hancock invites us to ponder a more mysterious origin.
A curious mystery that is not unconnected to the genetic mystery.
He speculates that the Inca might have been heirs to a legacy of knowledge and technology from a bygone civilization, now lost to history. This theory suggests that the astonishing precision and durability of Sacsayhuaman's walls could be evidence of an advanced pre-Inca society that had mastered construction techniques far beyond what was previously imagined for their time. Hancock's fascination doesn't stop at the construction techniques. He delves into the site's possible acoustic properties and astronomical alignments, suggesting that Sacsayhuaman was not just an architectural marvel, but also a center for astronomical observation and sound engineering. These features hint at a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos and sound, further fueling the speculation that the site's creators were far more advanced than we give them credit for. The mystery of Sacsayhuaman is deepened by the Incas' lack of a written language, which has led to a significant loss of their oral history following the Spanish conquest. This absence of concrete historical records leaves a gap in our understanding of the site's true purpose and the extent of the Incas' architectural knowledge. Despite these challenges, Sacsayhuaman's cultural and historical significance cannot be overstated. As a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it attracts thousands of tourists each year, serving as a vital link to the past and a testament to the Inca civilization's ingenuity. Now, the story of the Inca Empire, or Tawantinsuyu. This narrative takes us back to the early 13th century, around the region of Cusco in what's now Peru. It's here that the saga begins with Manco Capac, the mythical founder and first emperor believed to be chosen by the sun god Inti himself. From such divine origins, the Inca embarked on an ambitious journey of expansion, blending military might and diplomatic savvy to weave together a tapestry of conquered territories and assimilated cultures. At its zenith, this empire spanned modern-day Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, Argentina, Chile, and Colombia, creating the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. But what truly sets the Inca apart are their engineering marvels. Imagine a network of roads over 40,000 kilometers long, connecting the arid coastlines of Peru to the snow-capped Andes, a testament to the Inca's engineering genius. This wasn't just any road system, it was the Capac Ñan, or the Royal Road, a feat of ancient infrastructure that included everything from stone-paved paths to suspension bridges made of woven grass. These pathways were vital arteries of the empire, supported by tambos and storehouses that provided essential supplies to travelers and military expeditions alike. Yet, the Incas' ingenuity didn't stop at roadways. They transformed the steep Andean mountainsides with agricultural terraces, preventing erosion and expanding arable land, all while developing sophisticated irrigation systems to water these terraced fields. Their expertise in water management extended to canals and aqueducts that channeled water from mountain springs to dry areas, ensuring the survival of dense populations. The heart of this empire was Cusco, a city that was not only the political center but also an urban planning marvel. Cusco was divided into sectors that mirrored the four parts of the empire, each sector meticulously planned and organized. And then there's Machu Picchu, the crown jewel of Inca architecture, perched high in the mountains and blending seamlessly with the landscape. This iconic site, with its terraces, temples and palaces, showcases the Incas' unparalleled skill in stonework, stones so precisely cut and fitted that they've withstood centuries of earthquakes. Now moving back to Graham Hancock, a name synonymous with challenging the traditional narratives of history and archaeology, has long fascinated us with his theories on the ancient world.
Are we looking at the traces of a forgotten episode in human history? I think so. I think that's what's going on here.
He suggests that civilizations like the Inca were not only more technologically advanced, but also more interconnected than we've been led to believe. Let's take a closer look at some of the intriguing ideas Hancock puts forward. First off, consider the Incas' ingenious system of communication. They had these runners known as chasqui, who could sprint across the empire's vast network of roads and trails, passing messages with incredible efficiency. But it wasn't just about legwork. The Inca also used quipus, complex knot patterns on strings that may have been more than mere accounting tools. Hancock muses that these could have carried detailed messages, perhaps even stories across vast distances. He even floats the idea that there might have been even more sophisticated yet undiscovered methods of communication, hinting at a possible global network of ancient knowledge sharing. Then there's the matter of construction techniques. The precision seen in the stonework of sites like Sacsayhuaman is staggering. Without mortar, these stones have been cut and fitted together so perfectly that they've withstood earthquakes for centuries. Hancock suggests this might point to lost technologies, far more advanced than what's been historically acknowledged.
Perhaps a decision was made not to use metal. Perhaps a decision was made that errors had taken place, that in reinventing civilization we shouldn't perhaps go down quite the same route as before.
And it's not just about stones and construction. He speculates the Inca had ways to harness natural energies, like geothermal or solar energy, in ways we're yet to fully understand. Hancock doesn't stop there. He observes how the Incas' agricultural practices, from terracing to sophisticated irrigation, showcase a sustainable way of living with the environment, possibly part of a broader, now-lost knowledge of ancient civilizations. This idea of sustainability, coupled with their architectural and engineering feats, paints a picture of a society that was not only advanced but deeply in tune with the natural world. Moreover, Hancock draws parallels between the architectural styles, religious beliefs, and cultural practices across different ancient civilizations. The similarities in megalithic constructions across South America, Egypt, and Asia, the use of psychoactive plants in spiritual rituals, and even practices like cranial deformation and mummification suggest a web of cultural exchange or influence that spans the globe. Graham Hancock, a name often associated with thinking outside of the box. Among his many interests, the Inca Empire stands out for its sophisticated communication networks and astronomical know-how, areas where Hancock's ideas veer sharply from the mainstream narrative. Hancock looks at the Incas' architectural marvels, like the precision-engineered Temple of the Sun at Machu Picchu, and sees a civilization deeply in tune with the cosmos. These buildings weren't just about looking pretty. They aligned with celestial events like the solstices and equinoxes, serving both practical agricultural needs and the ceremonial calendar. It's this star-aligned architecture that leads Hancock to ponder if the Incas' cosmic knowledge was inherited from an even older global civilization, suggesting a world where ancient peoples shared a sophisticated understanding of astronomy long before it was thought possible. Hancock's theories, while met with skepticism from the academic establishment, undeniably add zest to the ongoing dialogue about our ancestors. By proposing that the Inca were part of a technologically advanced and interconnected ancient world, he challenges us to rethink what we thought we knew about the past. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, Hancock's insights into the Inca Empire invite us all to explore the mysteries of ancient civilizations with fresh eyes, reminding us that history is anything but written in stone. The dense, sprawling rainforests of the Amazon basin have long been viewed as pristine wildernesses, largely untouched by human hands. But as we delve deeper into its recesses, an entirely different picture begins to emerge. Most of our earlier perceptions of the Amazon were informed by explorers' tales and early aerial surveys, which gave us a vision of an impenetrable forest and an inhospitable land. The narrative held that this vast expanse was a green desert, with sporadic indigenous tribes living in harmony with nature, barely altering their surroundings. But with advancing technology and more in-depth archaeological expeditions, this story is undergoing a major rewrite. Ancient geoglyphs, vast earthworks, stretching over vast distances comparable in size and complexity to the famous Nazca lines in Peru, have been discovered. These intricate geometric designs, hidden for centuries beneath thick foliage, give testimony to the organized societies that once thrived here. They showcase a level of complexity and artistic expression that challenges earlier beliefs. Further evidence of the Amazon's historic human footprint comes from the blackened, fertile patches of earth known as terra preta. These aren't just random fertile grounds, they're ancient compost heaps, enriched with organic matter, and possibly remnants of ancient pottery. The scope and spread of terra preta suggests systematic agricultural practices and a potentially large population catering to their dietary needs. And then there's the discovery of ancient, now abandoned villages in the very heart of the rainforest. Built with defined structures, these settlements disrupt the long-held belief that large-scale communities never existed in the Amazon due to the rainforest's harsh living conditions. Artifacts recovered from these sites, ranging from tools to ornamental objects, show us glimpses of thriving cultures, sophisticated crafts, and bustling trade routes. All these findings have a profound implication. The Amazon rainforest, as we know it today, might be partly a human-made environment. It's believed that ancient Amazonians cultivated specific tree species for food and timber, subtly shaping the ecosystem around them over generations. The common thread binding these discoveries is the realization that our beliefs about the Amazon have been clouded by the limitations of early exploration tools and perhaps a bit of colonial-era condescension. As new chapters of the Amazon's history continue to unfold, they remind us that civilizations, no matter where they spring up, are capable of marvelous feats, challenging the environment and leaving behind legacies that last millennia. Dive into any story of discovery, and you'll find that the most unexpected revelations often lie in places overlooked or deemed unimportant. The Amazon basin, a vast stretch of dense rainforest, was largely considered an untouched wilderness, a pristine testament to nature's majesty. But beneath its sprawling canopy and amidst its dense undergrowth, whispers of a bygone era started to emerge. This immense jungle, often described as the lungs of the earth, was for centuries thought to be a green desert when it came to human habitation. The thick foliage, challenging terrain, and vast biodiversity seemed to suggest that only small, isolated tribes could have ever called it home. But as the 21st century unfolded and technology advanced, this perception began to shift dramatically. LiDAR, a remote sensing method that uses light in the form of a pulsed laser, started revealing traces of ancient habitation below the forest canopy. When flown over the Amazon, LiDAR provided researchers with clear, detailed images of the ground, even through dense vegetation. It was like having X-ray vision, revealing details hidden for millennia. What it unveiled was nothing short of astonishing. A tapestry of ancient civilizations sprawled across hundreds of thousands of square miles. These weren't just random or isolated structures, these were sophisticated layouts with ceremonial centers, plazas, and intricate infrastructure. Large geometric earthworks, known as geoglyphs, stretched across vast distances, each meticulously crafted, each telling a tale of the people who constructed them. But the discoveries didn't end with mere structures. Excavations at these sites began to unearth pottery, tools, and ornaments, each intricately designed, showcasing the aesthetic values and craftsmanship of their creators. These artifacts hinted at vibrant cultures, thriving societies, and bustling trade networks. One might wonder, how did these vast settlements remain hidden for so long? The thick forest canopy, rapid overgrowth, and the natural processes of decay in the humid rainforest environment contributed to their concealment. Over time, nature had reclaimed these areas, making them part of the forest floor and hiding their secrets from the world. The sheer scale of these revelations has made the Amazon basin one of the most exciting frontiers for archaeological exploration today. Every expedition, every scan, and every dig promises new insights, unveiling chapters of a history that once thrived, prospered, and then vanished into the green abyss, waiting to be rediscovered. The vastness of the Amazon basin is a challenge to comprehend. Stretched over 9 countries, it spans approximately 7 million square kilometers and houses the world's largest river by volume. To put it into perspective, it's almost twice the size of India, or roughly equivalent to the 48 contiguous states of the USA. This sheer expanse has often led to a perception that such a large area was inhospitable for large-scale human habitation, especially considering the challenges the region presents: dense forests, vast waterways, and a rich diversity of fauna that includes both spectacular wonders and threats to human life. Yet the artifacts and settlements emerging from the jungle are challenging this perception, showing that not only did civilizations inhabit the Amazon, but they did so at a scale previously unimagined. The findings suggest that up to 10 million people may have once lived in the Amazon, a number comparable to some of the most populated areas in the ancient world. The geoglyphs, for instance, which were found scattered across the Amazon in their thousands, weren't just small, isolated designs. Some were as large as 13 square kilometers, a size that could easily encompass modern-day cities. The intricate network of villages, roads, and ceremonial centers points towards a level of organization that is nothing short of urban planning. Additionally, the agricultural prowess of these ancient inhabitants was astounding. Dark, fertile soils called terra preta, or black earth, were artificially created by the ancient Amazonians, enabling them to cultivate crops on a massive scale. This not only fed large populations, but also played a role in trade and commerce, giving rise to intricate networks across the region. The technological and social achievements of the people in the Amazon have parallels with ancient megacities from other parts of the world. However, their urban centers, unlike stone cities, were made largely from organic materials, which means they decayed and were reclaimed by nature over time. This might explain why their achievements remained hidden for so long. A significant puzzle that lingers is, how were such sprawling societies governed, organized, and maintained in an environment so dense and challenging? While the exact nature of their governance and societal structures remains elusive, the very presence of such grandeur and organization on such a large scale challenges many preconceived notions. In essence, the Amazon, once seen as a vast, uninhabited green sea, is slowly revealing itself as a cradle of civilization, on a scale few ever imagined. The image of the Amazon basin as an untouched Eden, pristine and wild, is a modern construction. The findings on the ancient Amazon basin civilizations invite us to re-evaluate this image, recognizing the region not just as a natural wonder, but also as a testament to human ingenuity and adaptability. One of the most striking revelations is how these ancient societies may have practiced sustainable agriculture. Instead of depleting the soil, they enhanced it. The creation of terra preta, a rich, fertile soil, shows a sophisticated understanding of agronomy. By adding charcoal, bone, and organic matter to the otherwise poor rainforest soil, they managed to create a substrate that remained fertile for generations. The fact that this soil is still rich in nutrients today, hundreds or even thousands of years later, speaks volumes about their sustainable practices. Moreover, there's evidence suggesting these communities practiced agroforestry, combining agriculture and forestry to create a mutually beneficial environment. This allowed them to cultivate a diverse array of crops, ensuring a balanced diet and reducing the risk of crop failures. The revelations of large-scale, sustainable societies in the Amazon basin are forcing historians and archaeologists to rethink the historical narrative of the Americas. It's becoming clear that these civilizations had a deep understanding of their environment and knew how to manipulate it in ways that were both advanced and sustainable. Beyond merely recognizing their existence, acknowledging the achievements of these ancient Amazonian civilizations challenges the often Eurocentric view of history, where advancements are largely attributed to the known Old World civilizations. Here, in what was thought to be the untouched wilderness, were societies that could rival the complexity and sophistication of their counterparts elsewhere. These discoveries also bring into the limelight the question of how and why such advanced civilizations collapsed. While there's no single answer, the theories range from climate changes to external invasions or even internal social upheavals. One thing, however, is for certain: the shadows of the past often hold mirrors to the present, and there's much we can learn about sustainability, resilience, and culture from the ancient denizens of the Amazon. The Amazon rainforest, one of the last uncharted wildernesses on Earth, a green ocean stretching over 5.5 million square kilometers. What if I told you there are more than trees and rivers hidden beneath this dense canopy? Yes, ancient civilizations, lost buildings, treasure troves, and maybe, just maybe, even crashed alien spaceships. Well, fasten your seatbelts because we are about to journey into this verdant labyrinth. But we won't need machetes or bug spray. Instead, we're soaring above and beyond, thanks to some radical technology. Let's dive right into the heartbeat of our journey today: LiDAR technology. This isn't just any run-of-the-mill tech. Picture a flying machine, buzzing high above the Earth, unspooling a colossal web of laser beams down into the mysterious depths of the Amazon rainforest. It's a bit like sonar, but instead of sound it uses light. Thus the name LiDAR, short for light detection and ranging. At first glance it sounds straightforward. Emit pulses of light and measure how long they take to return after hitting an object. But the genius of LiDAR is in the sheer scale of it. We're not just talking about a few lasers here and there. We're talking about millions upon millions of laser pulses shot out in a quick-fire staccato, each one of them working like an echolocation ping. This laser orchestra is conducted from high above, usually from an aircraft or drone, which allows for a massive swathe of land to be covered in a single sweep. The lasers cut through the dense tree canopy, getting a snapshot of the underlying topography, the contours and undulations, the hidden dips and secret rises, even the ghostly outlines of long-forgotten structures. But it's not just a one-and-done operation. The aircraft fly over the same patch multiple times, shooting laser pulses from different angles. These different perspectives can then be compiled into a rich, detailed 3D image, giving us an unprecedented view of the Amazon's secret floor. It's like throwing flour on an invisible man. Suddenly, you can see his shape. In the same way, LiDAR allows us to detect the subtle fingerprints left by ancient civilizations on the forest floor. Earthworks, terraces, roads, fortifications, even entire cities, all visible to us for the first time. And the best part, LiDAR allows us to see the world in a whole new way, without disturbing it. By shedding light, both figuratively and literally, on the secrets of the Amazon, LiDAR has become an invaluable tool for scientists to study this part of our world. While we've been focusing on the Amazon and its secrets, it's important to note that this magnificent rainforest is not an isolated entity. It's part of a global tapestry of ancient civilizations and cultures, many of which may have had connections to the societies that once thrived here. The most immediate connections can be found in the broader context of pre-Columbian civilizations. The Inca Empire, for instance, stretched along the Andean mountain range just to the west of the Amazon. Archaeological evidence has suggested that the Incas might have ventured into the Amazon basin and interacted with the peoples living there. Even more intriguing are potential connections to civilizations far away. For instance, pottery styles found in the Amazon have shown striking similarities to Polynesian designs, sparking debates about potential trans-Pacific contact. Could adventurous Polynesian seafarers have navigated their way to South America, establishing contact with Amazonian societies? While definitive proof remains elusive, the possibility adds another layer of intrigue to our understanding of the Amazon's past. Adding to the potential global connections of the Amazon are theories regarding the distribution of plant species. For instance, the coca plant, native to the Andean region and Amazon basin, was used for millennia by indigenous societies in South America for its stimulant properties. Interestingly, traces of coca and nicotine from tobacco plants native to the Americas were found in Egyptian mummies. Could this point to ancient trade routes connecting the New World and the Old? As of now, this remains a controversial and largely unproven hypothesis, yet the sheer suggestion of it hints at a potentially far more interconnected ancient world than we ever imagined. Lastly, let's not forget the potential link between the Amazon and extraterrestrial civilizations. As we touched on in our earlier segment about alien spaceship theories, The idea of ancient alien contact isn't new, and the Amazon is no exception in these discussions. From hypothetical lost spaceships to theories that ancient Amazonians had celestial knowledge beyond their means, the potential for such interstellar connections only adds to the mystery and intrigue of this incredible rainforest. Let's take a trip back in time. Imagine a world where the Amazon rainforest isn't just a sprawling, teeming wilderness, but a vibrant, bustling, complex human landscape. It's a challenging thought, isn't it? After all, the Amazon is often portrayed as the world's most inhospitable jungle, devoid of human touch. But as it turns out, this might be far from the truth. Recent LiDAR explorations have revealed a startling possibility. The Amazon, contrary to popular belief, was once home to a dense, interconnected network of sophisticated pre-Columbian civilizations. We're talking about highly organized societies, complete with roads, bridges, canals, and plazas, living in harmony with the jungle instead of against it. As if pulled straight from the pages of a high fantasy novel, these civilizations built sprawling urban landscapes, replete with earthworks and geoglyphs, geometrical figures etched onto the landscape, that can still be seen today. Some of these earthworks are so large that they can only be truly appreciated from an aerial view, reminiscent of the famous Nazca lines in Peru. One of the most compelling discoveries includes evidence of man-made soil known as terra preta, literally black earth in Portuguese. Richer and more fertile than the surrounding soils, terra preta is dotted with shards of pottery and bits of charcoal, suggesting that these regions were once hubs of human activity, perhaps even centers of agriculture. Most exciting of all is the sheer scale of these lost civilizations. Archaeologists estimate that at their peak, they may have sustained a population of millions, challenging the narrative that the Amazon was a counterfeit paradise, incapable of supporting large-scale human life. But why then did these grand civilizations vanish? Why did the rainforest reclaim its lost territories? It's a haunting question, and one we are still struggling to answer. Was it due to European diseases brought by explorers and colonists wiping out up to 95% of the indigenous population? Or were there other, more mysterious factors at play? This is a puzzle that remains to be solved. Our story takes a turn for the otherworldly as we venture into the realm of speculation and wonder. Is it possible that among the ancient ruins and hidden treasures of the Amazon, there are remnants of extraterrestrial visitors? If the concept of lost civilizations and hidden treasures wasn't enough to get your neurons firing, then hold on to your tinfoil hats, because we're about to journey into the realm of the extraordinary. We're all familiar with the popular concept of unidentified flying objects, or UFOs. For decades, accounts of strange objects soaring through our skies have been reported from every corner of the globe. Sometimes these objects are said to crash, leaving debris and occasionally traces of technology far beyond our current understanding. Could it be possible that one or more of these mysterious visitors came to rest in the vastness of the Amazon rainforest? If so, such a crash would almost certainly have been obscured by the dense jungle canopy, potentially leaving an alien craft hidden and untouched for hundreds, if not thousands of years. What secrets might such a craft contain? Advanced technology, unimagined power sources, or even evidence of life beyond our planet? Imagine for a moment the implications of finding an alien spaceship in the heart of the Amazon. Not only would it irrevocably confirm the existence of extraterrestrial life, but it could also provide us with insights into technology and knowledge far beyond our current understanding. It would be, without a doubt, one of the most monumental discoveries in human history. Critics of this theory argue that it's just a fanciful flight of imagination, grounded more in the realm of science fiction than scientific fact. But proponents point out that the Amazon, with its difficult terrain and dense vegetation, is the perfect hiding spot for such an extraordinary secret. From the lost civilizations to possible extraterrestrial findings, we've taken a dive into the mysteries and wonders of the Amazon. But the Amazon isn't just about hidden cities or hypothetical alien spaceships. It's a place of ongoing exploration and revelation, where scientists are continually unearthing new discoveries that change our understanding of this vast ecosystem. In recent years, with the help of LiDAR and satellite imaging, we've seen an explosion of new finds within the Amazon's dense canopy. The discovery of so-called geoglyphs, intricate large-scale earthworks, suggest a complex, sophisticated society that lived in the Amazon before European arrival. Some of these geometric shapes measure more than a football field in diameter, hinting at a highly organized society capable of substantial construction projects. But it's not only the footprint of ancient humans that are being unveiled. In 2019, an entirely new coral reef system was discovered at the mouth of the Amazon River. A thriving, colorful biosphere in a place where no one thought such a thing could exist. This finding not only highlights the Amazon's abundant life, but also reminds us that even in the 21st century, there are still places on our own planet that remain largely unexplored. In the realm of flora and fauna, the Amazon continues to be a treasure trove of biodiversity. Every year, scientists catalogue hundreds of new species, from brilliantly colored birds and frogs to towering trees and delicate orchids. And these are just the species we know about. There are undoubtedly countless other organisms out there, hidden deep within the forest, waiting to be discovered. Imagine, if you will, the glint of gold shimmering in the dappled sunlight filtering through the dense canopy of the Amazon. A rustle of leaves, a clatter of falling fruit, and the subtle whisper of secrets, long buried in the verdant undergrowth of the jungle. Treasure. The word itself conjures up images of glittering gems, priceless artifacts, and ancient relics of civilizations long past. When we think of the Amazon rainforest, we might first imagine its unrivaled biodiversity. But the recent LIDAR findings have begun to paint a new picture, that of a land brimming with the potential for hidden treasures. The ancient civilizations that called the Amazon their home were not just adept builders, but also skilled craftsmen, potters, weavers, and metallurgists. Their skill in goldsmithing was particularly renowned, a fact attested by the beautiful gold artifacts recovered from the region. Hidden among the ruins of these forgotten cities, there could potentially be caches of such treasures waiting to be discovered. Gold ornaments, beautifully crafted pottery, intricately woven textiles, and even precious gemstones could be buried.
The Amazon basin is 7 million square kilometers in area. And within it, 5.5 million square kilometers remains almost entirely unstudied by archaeologists. We've done world archaeology, but we've just ignored the Amazon. What we find in the Amazon are thousands of henges that are now beginning to emerge from the cleared area of the jungle, and others that have been identified for the first time with LIDAR.
Discoveries of ancient civilizations in the Amazon jungle have unveiled a complex and sophisticated history that challenges previous assumptions about the region. These discoveries, made through a combination of aerial surveys, satellite imagery, and ground expeditions, reveal the existence of large, well-planned urban settlements, extensive road networks, and advanced agricultural techniques, suggesting a much higher level of social organization and environmental management than previously thought. The Cuhicugu complex in the Upper Xingu region of the Brazilian Amazon offers an incredible glimpse into the advanced urban planning and societal organization of pre-Columbian civilizations, long before European contact. Nestled in the remote Amazon basin in present-day Mato Grosso, Brazil, this area is a treasure trove of biodiversity. The dense rainforests and network of rivers likely played a key role in the development and sustenance of this complex society. Covering about 50 square kilometers, the Cuhicugu complex is home to over 20 settlements. These aren't just randomly placed, they're strategically positioned to make the most of the region's natural resources. What's fascinating is how these settlements are connected. Imagine a series of straight roads, some stretching for several kilometers, laid out with such precision that they often align with the cardinal directions. This not only facilitated travel, but also shows a high level of planning and coordination. Then there's the canal system, an impressive display of hydraulic engineering, likely used for everything from transportation to water management, and maybe even fish farming. The variety of structures within the complex is equally remarkable. From large public buildings and ceremonial spaces to individual homes, the architecture reflects a hierarchy in building techniques, hinting at different social or functional roles within the society. And speaking of society, estimates suggest that at its peak, Cuhicugu could have supported a whopping 30,000 to 50,000 people. This is deduced from the sheer number of residential structures and the expanse of agricultural land.
along the Amazon. He reported seeing incredible cities, advanced arts and crafts, millions of people, a thriving culture.
The rediscovery of the Cuhigugu complex in the Amazon is a fascinating story that blends modern technology with traditional archaeology. Initially, this hidden gem was revealed through aerial surveys and satellite images. Imagine flying over the dense Amazon rainforest and suddenly spotting the outlines of an ancient civilization. Then, archaeologists like Michael Heckenberger and his team took over, conducting extensive ground excavations. They employed advanced techniques like LiDAR, which is like X-ray vision for archaeologists, to see through the forest canopy and map the area accurately. Now let's talk about how old this place is. Using carbon dating, a method to tell the age of artifacts and soil, scientists figured out that people lived in the Cuhigugu complex for several centuries, dating back to as early as 800 AD. They found all sorts of things like pottery, stone tools, and ornaments, giving us a glimpse into the daily life and creativity of the people who lived there. Here's the kicker. Before finding Cuhigugu, many thought the Amazon was mostly an untouched wilderness before Europeans arrived. But this discovery turned that idea on its head, showing that the area was home to a large and complex society. It's like finding a hidden chapter of history in your backyard. This place shows us that humans had a big impact on the Amazon, way earlier than we thought. They even made their own super fertile soil called terra preta, which is still rich and productive today. What's really cool about Cuhigugu is how it shows that the people there knew how to live sustainably. They had advanced farming practices, managed water well, and lived in harmony with their environment. It's like they were eco-friendly before it was trendy. This discovery also made us rethink the role of indigenous societies in the Amazon. It turns out they knew a lot about how to manage the land and shape the landscape. It's a reminder of how important it is to value and learn from indigenous knowledge. And lastly, the biodiversity in the Amazon today might partly be thanks to these ancient civilizations. The variety of plants near these archaeological sites is way more than in other areas of the forest.
The Amazon is basically a garden. The Amazon is a man-made rainforest. There are certain trees like Brazil nut trees or the ice cream bean tree, which are food crops, which are very, very valuable.
Marajo Island at the Amazon River's mouth is like a time capsule that takes us back to the Marajoara culture, a sophisticated civilization from around 800 to 1400 CE. Imagine an island almost as big as Switzerland, right at the meeting point of a river and the ocean. This place, with its mix of forests, savannas, and wetlands, is not just big but also incredibly diverse. It's the perfect backdrop for the Marajoara people to thrive, providing everything from food to resources for their unique lifestyle. Now, the Marajoara culture is something special. They were known for their artistic flair, especially their ceramics. Picture pots and plates with intricate designs, complex patterns, and images of animals and people. They weren't just making these for fun. Their ceramics were a big part of their culture and beliefs, like the large, beautifully decorated urns they used for burials. These suggest they had quite complex ideas about life, death, and everything in between. But it's not just their art that's fascinating. They built these massive earthen mounds, some over 10 meters high. Think about that. That's like stacking 3 buses on top of each other. These mounds were probably used for everything from homes to ceremonial sites, and might have even protected them from the frequent floods. This shows they were pretty savvy engineers and architects, adapting to their challenging environment in style. The way they organized their society was also quite something. It seems there was a clear hierarchy, with some people leading the way in managing resources and religious practices. And they had different roles for men and women, which we can figure out from the things they left behind. Now let's talk about their farming skills. They were ahead of their time, creating raised fields to keep their crops safe from flooding. Their diet was a mix of what they grew, along with fish and game from the surrounding area. And they were smart about managing water with their canals and ditches, which was pretty crucial in a place that floods a lot. Santarém, right where the Tapajos meets the Amazon River, is a fascinating place, especially when you think about its history. This spot was like the Grand Central Station of its time, bustling with trade and culture. Picture boats coming in and out, carrying all sorts of goods and ideas from different parts of South America. The area around Santarém was rich in resources, which helped the settlement thrive. Now, the people of Santarém were known for their incredible pottery. We're talking about really intricate designs here, geometric patterns, pictures of people and animals, and even mythical beings. The level of detail in these pots and plates is just mind-blowing. And it wasn't just about looking good. These designs tell us a lot about their culture and beliefs. The way they made this pottery was pretty advanced too. They had techniques for molding, firing, and painting that were way ahead of their time. The variety of colors and the way they used glazes show they really knew their stuff when it came to chemistry and kiln construction. It's like they were the master chefs of pottery, knowing exactly how to cook up the perfect piece. Santarém was more than just a local market. It was a cultural hub. The different styles and motifs in the pottery suggest they were mixing it up with all sorts of cultures. And it wasn't just goods they were trading. They were probably swapping stories, ideas, and practices too. The town itself, from what we can tell from the ruins, was pretty well organized. They had different areas for living, working, and probably for community gatherings or ceremonies. It's like they had their own little urban planning going on. But back to the pottery, it's not just about how it was made, but what it tells us about the people of Santarém. It gives us a peek into their daily lives, what they valued, and how they connected with others. The geoglyphs in the Amazon, especially in the Brazilian states of Acre and Rondônia, are like a secret world that's been hidden under the dense forest canopy for centuries. It wasn't until the late 20th and early 21st centuries, mostly because of deforestation, that these incredible earthworks started to come to light, thanks to technology like satellite imagery and LiDAR, which is basically like having X-ray vision from space. Over 450 of these geoglyphs have been mapped. This discovery has completely changed our view of how people lived in the Amazon before Columbus. Now, these aren't just a few lines in the dirt. We're talking about huge designs that can stretch over a kilometer and cover several square kilometers. They come in all sorts of shapes: circles, squares, rectangles, and more intricate forms. Some even have patterns like radial spokes, which add to their complexity. The sheer size of these geoglyphs hints at a society that was really well organized and could bring together a lot of people to create these massive works. But how did they make them? Well, they would remove the top layer of soil and vegetation, revealing the lighter-colored earth underneath. This contrast made the design stand out when viewed from above. It seems like they used a variety of tools made from materials like stone, bone, and wood. The level of precision in these geoglyphs shows they were not only skilled, but also had serious planning chops. Some of these geoglyphs line up with astronomical events, like the solstices and equinoxes. This suggests they might have been used for tracking celestial events or for ceremonial or religious purposes. Imagine large groups of people gathering at these geoglyphs for festivals or rituals. It must have been quite a sight. But here's the really cool part. These geoglyphs tell us that the societies in the Amazon before Europeans arrived were much more complex than we thought. They could modify their environment on a large scale and had a social structure where leaders could organize big projects. And despite the size of these geoglyphs, they were made in a way that respected and integrated with the surrounding landscape. So discovering these geoglyphs has really turned our understanding of the Amazon's history on its head. It's no longer seen as just a vast, untouched wilderness, but as a place where complex, organized societies lived and actively shaped their world. It's a reminder of how much history there is still to uncover and how much we can learn from it.
But before the Aztecs and before the Maya, there were a culture who are referred to as the Olmecs. The settlement story of the Americas is much more complicated than we've realized. And what the DNA is doing is it's telling us that there was something really weird.
In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, there was a growing fascination with ancient civilizations, particularly in the Victorian era. This interest was driven by a mix of cultural trends in exploration, colonization, and a certain romantic allure attached to discovering lost cultures. Major institutions like museums and universities, primarily in Europe and the US, started funding expeditions to unearth ancient artifacts and understand the history of indigenous civilizations in the Americas. It was a time when archaeology began to evolve from just hunting for treasures to a more scientific approach, focusing on careful excavation and detailed analysis.
One of the things I've realized is that there is no classic Native American feature, that Native Americans are have a very complex genetic story with very many different elements brought into it, and we shouldn't be necessarily surprised by the supposedly non-Native American look.
Interestingly, during this period, many artifacts, especially the colossal heads and stone structures found in the Olmec region, were often wrongly attributed to other well-known civilizations like the Maya or Aztec. This was largely because the unique aspects of Olmec art and iconography weren't immediately recognized, partly due to a lack of an overall framework to understand the region's history before Columbus. A couple of notable explorers, John Lloyd Stevens and Frederick Catherwood, played a significant role in stirring up interest in Mesoamerican cultures with their explorations and writings, particularly their books on travels in Central America and Yucatan. Their detailed accounts and illustrations captured the public's imagination, sparking a wave of interest in these ancient cultures. While they mainly focused on the Maya, their approach to systematically document their findings and blend travel narratives with scholarly observations greatly influenced future archaeologists studying Mesoamerica.
It's been known by archaeologists for quite a long time that there are anomalous skulls in parts of Brazil, which appear to show very strongly Polynesian or African features, very much like the features that we see on the Olmec heads.
Around this time, there was also a trend in comparative archaeology, where discoveries from different parts of the world were compared, helping to place Mesoamerican civilizations in a global context. Museums began to transition from just storing artifacts to becoming centers of research and education, playing a crucial role in spreading knowledge about ancient cultures. This era also marked the start of interdisciplinary approaches in archaeology, integrating fields like anthropology, linguistics, and early forms of environmental science. This broader, more inclusive approach helped in piecing together a more comprehensive understanding of ancient civilizations, including the intriguing and complex Olmec culture. Back in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when Western archaeologists were exploring Mesoamerica, they started coming across these massive stone heads. Some of them were over 9 feet tall and weighed several tons, with distinctive features like flat noses and fleshy cheeks, often adorned with helmet-like headgear. But here's the thing. Despite their impressive size and unique features, their true cultural significance wasn't immediately understood.
They're most famous for is these huge carved human heads, which can be on a scale of up to 20 to 25 tons, which have curious features, which have been interpreted variously as Polynesian, African, don't look like classic Native American features.
One of the earliest significant findings was made by José Melgari Serrano in 1862 at Tres Zapotes in Veracruz. He unearthed what we now know as one of the first Olmec colossal heads. Melgari Serrano even described the head as having Ethiopian features, which tells us a lot about the perceptions and biases of that era. But, and this is crucial, his discovery didn't really spark a broader understanding of the Olmec culture right away. For a long time, these heads were seen more as intriguing oddities rather than pieces of a larger cultural puzzle. It took several decades and a lot more digging before the significance of these heads truly began to be appreciated. Initially, many people thought these artifacts might belong to other known civilizations, like the Maya or Aztec, because the idea of the Olmecs being a distinct, early Mesoamerican civilization hadn't quite taken shape yet. It wasn't until the mid-20th century, with more systematic excavations led by archaeologists like Matthew Stirling, that the true picture began to emerge. They found more colossal heads and other artifacts, and this really helped to establish the Olmecs as a significant and influential civilization in their own right, predating and possibly even influencing others like the Maya and the Aztecs. Back in 1945, a really important expedition took place, led by this guy named Matthew Stirling. He and his team headed to San Lorenzo, right in the heart of what was once Olmec territory. This wasn't just any random adventure. It was a big deal because the Smithsonian Institution was backing it. They saw the potential in figuring out more about the Olmec sites, which could really shed some light on Mesoamerican prehistory. Before Stirling got there had been some poking around in the area, mostly because people kept finding these huge stone heads. These finds were intriguing but didn't quite give the full picture. So enter Stirling. He was already pretty well known in archaeology circles and had a real knack for Mesoamerican cultures. He was the perfect guy to take on such a complex task. Now, it wasn't an easy job. The San Lorenzo site was in this tropical area, covered in thick jungle. Just getting to the site and starting to dig was a huge challenge. They had to clear a bunch of jungle without messing up any artifacts that might be hiding there. And let me tell you, the weather didn't make things any easier. It was humid, unpredictable, and not the best for keeping ancient artifacts in one piece. The site itself was huge, spreading out over several kilometers. Sterling and his team had to figure out where to start digging because there was no way they could cover the whole area. They did an initial survey which took a lot of time and planning, and then decided on the most promising spots to start excavating. They had to be super careful with how they dug things up. The artifacts were old and fragile, especially with the humidity. Plus, they had to keep track of everything they found, where they found it, and all the details, which was crucial for understanding the site later on.
It wasn't something the Maya made up. The Olmecs used that same symbolism. So the Mayan calendar is actually an Olmec calendar.
What they found at San Lorenzo was amazing. It turned out to be one of the oldest big cities in Mesoamerica, dating way back to around 1200 to 900 BCE. That's even before civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs that most people are familiar with. The artifacts they unearthed, especially those massive stone heads, were a big deal. They were carved from single blocks of basalt and had all these unique facial features. It was clear that the people who made them were incredibly skilled. All this hard work at San Lorenzo really helped piece together the story of the Olmecs. It gave us a clearer timeline and showed just how complex and advanced their society was. Diving deeper into San Lorenzo, which is super important when it comes to understanding the Olmec civilization, it's considered the oldest major city in Mesoamerica, dating back to around 1200 to 900 BCE. That's way before other famous civilizations like the Maya and Aztecs. Radiocarbon dating was key here. It helped archaeologists nail down the timeline of the site, giving a much clearer picture of when the Olmecs were doing their thing. Now, the most famous stuff they found at San Lorenzo. Definitely the colossal heads. These huge sculptures were carved from single basalt blocks and are known for their unique facial features like almond-shaped eyes and broad noses. A lot of them have these intricate headdresses too, which might have been a sign of high status or had some ceremonial purpose. But there's still a lot of debate about what all the symbols mean. The size of these heads is just mind-blowing. Some are up to 3 meters high and weigh around 50 tons. Imagine the skill it took to carve those. But it wasn't just the heads. They found jade figurines and a bunch of different pottery styles, which tell us a lot about their daily life, art, and even trade. The jade stuff suggests they had trade networks because jade wasn't just lying around everywhere. And the buildings. They found large structures like platforms and what might have been houses for the elite. This points to a society that was really well organized and had the resources to build big. The way San Lorenzo was laid out is also fascinating. It had a central axis, which indicates that the city was carefully planned. There were separate areas for ceremonies and living, showing a sophisticated urban structure and hinting at a social hierarchy. All this stuff from San Lorenzo has been super important for understanding the Olmecs. It's given us a much clearer timeline of their civilization and shown just how complex their society was. The variety in the artifacts, from the colossal heads to the pottery, shows that they were not only skilled in stone carving, but had artists and craftsmen who were really good at what they did. It's like San Lorenzo has given us a window into a past world, showing us how these ancient people lived, worked, and created. After the exciting discoveries at San Lorenzo in the 1940s, archaeologists turned their attention to La Venta, another key Olmec site in Tabasco, Mexico, in the 1950s. This shift was a big deal because La Venta offered a new window into the Olmec world. Known as one of the earliest complex societies in Mesoamerica, the explorations here were more focused and methodical, thanks to archaeologists like Philip Drucker and Robert Heiser. These guys weren't just digging around, they brought in techniques from other fields like anthropology and geology, giving a fuller picture of the Olmec civilization. La Venta is super important for understanding the peak of Olmec culture. The site was in its prime from around 900 to 400 BCE, a time when the Olmecs were really showing off their artistic and architectural skills. One of the standout features of La Venta is the Great Pyramid. It's not like the pyramids in Egypt, this one's made of earth and clay and has a unique conical shape. It was one of the biggest structures in ancient Mesoamerica at the time, which tells us the Olmecs were pretty good at organizing big construction projects. The pyramid was probably more than just a big building. It's believed to have been a key spot for ceremonies or religious activities, kind of like the heart of Olmec ritual life. The way they built it and other structures at La Venta, and how they aligned them with astronomical bodies, shows they were pretty savvy with engineering and astronomy. It was likely a bustling cultural hub where significant ceremonies and gatherings happened. When archaeologists started digging at La Venta, they did things a bit differently than before. They were super systematic about it, focusing on layers of soil and the context of each artifact they found. But they had their work cut out for them. The tropical climate and the fact that many Olmec structures were made of earth really made preserving and understanding these finds tough. They had to be meticulous in recording everything they dug up, which has been a goldmine for future analysis. Now, just like at San Lorenzo, La Venta is famous for its massive basalt heads. Carved from huge boulders, these heads are thought to be representations of Olmec rulers or other big shots in their society. But there's more. The site is full of altars with intricate carvings showing people, animals, and all sorts of symbolic scenes. It's like getting a glimpse into their mythology and rituals. And then there's the jade. La Venta turned up loads of jade artifacts, from beautifully carved figurines to celts. These weren't just pretty things to look at. They showed how skilled the Olmecs were and hinted at long trade networks, since jade wasn't just lying around nearby. But here's where it gets really interesting. The burial sites they found were complex, with all kinds of elaborate practices. They also found mosaic pavements made of serpentine and various offerings, which likely had deep religious meaning. All this stuff from La Venta has been super important in piecing together who the Olmecs were, their social structure, religious beliefs, and artistic talents. However, keeping La Venta in good shape for future studies is a challenge. The site's battling both natural elements and human factors, so preserving this amazing place is crucial, not just for archaeology buffs, but for understanding a key part of human history.
When Oriana went down the Amazon, the reports were that there was great civilizations in the Amazon. And then, a few hundred years later, when people got to actually check up on this stuff, it was all gone. There's more ancient civilization information in the Amazon than we previously thought. True statement. There clearly is a long history of complex civilizations in the Amazon.
Imagine uncovering an ancient civilization so advanced that it reshapes everything we know about early human history. That's exactly what happened when scientists recently used cutting-edge technology to explore the dense jungles of the Amazon.
It's the most biodiverse terrestrial habitat that has ever existed on Earth. So there's more life here than anywhere else, period.
Hidden beneath the thick canopy, they discovered remnants of an ancient tribe with megalithic structures. Join us as we delve into this groundbreaking discovery, revealing the secrets of a people who once thrived in the heart of the jungle. The discovery of the Olmec civilization is a story that began in the mid-19th century, when travelers in the Gulf Coast region of Mexico stumbled upon large, enigmatic stone heads.
The Olmecs, really, they're characterized by the megalithic stone heads, precision-engineered stonework.
In 1862, a colossal stone head was unearthed near Tres Zapotes, Veracruz, by José Melgar, a Mexican explorer and antiquarian. This head puzzled Melgar, who didn't realize its cultural significance. Despite his detailed documentation of the head, it didn't spark immediate widespread interest.
Everyone goes to the big Mayan sites, or they go to Teotihuacan and Mexico City because they're impressive. Whereas the Olmec sites, there's not much left.
The head remained an isolated curiosity for many years, as the region was still relatively unexplored, and it would take several more decades before systematic archaeological efforts began to reveal the full extent of the Olmec civilization. The formal recognition of the Olmec civilization began in earnest in the early 20th century, thanks largely to the efforts of archaeologists like Franz Blom and Oliver Lafarge. In the 1920s, Blom and Lafarge conducted an expedition to the Gulf Coast and encountered more colossal heads and other artifacts at Tres Zapotes.
But no one really knows anything. There's no writing, there's no good legends or stories that come down describing what they were doing.
Their findings, published in 1926, drew the attention of the academic community to the region. Their meticulous documentation of the artifacts provided detailed descriptions and photographs that allowed other researchers to start piecing together the unique characteristics of the Olmec civilization. The term Olmec, derived from the Nahuatl word Olmecatl, meaning rubber people, was initially used to describe these early Gulf Coast inhabitants who lived around 1200 to 400 BCE. The name later came to refer to the broader cultural and archaeological phenomena associated with the sites and artifacts discovered in this region. The designation rubber people is particularly intriguing because it highlights one of the Olmec's notable achievements: the production and use of rubber. The Olmec were among the first in the world to develop techniques for processing latex from local rubber trees, which they used to create various items, including balls for ceremonial games. This innovation underscores their sophisticated understanding of natural materials and their practical applications. In the 1930s and 1940s, extensive excavations were conducted at San Lorenzo Tenochtitlan, a major Olmec site in Veracruz, led by Matthew Sterling of the Smithsonian Institution and the National Geographic Society. These excavations uncovered numerous colossal heads, altars, and other stone sculptures.
We don't really know what they were. All we've got left is the stone heads to look at and decipher.
San Lorenzo was identified as one of the earliest and most significant Olmec centers, dating back to around 1200 BCE. The site's monumental architecture and sophisticated drainage systems revealed the complexity and advancement of Olmec society. Sterling's work was groundbreaking in many ways. His discoveries at San Lorenzo included massive basalt sculptures, some weighing up to 40 tons, which had been transported over considerable distances from their quarries. This feat highlighted the Olmec's remarkable engineering skills and their ability to mobilize and organize large labor forces. This required advanced logistics and engineering, indicating a highly organized society with a strong central authority. The drainage system at San Lorenzo, consisting of carefully laid stone-lined channels, demonstrated the Olmec's understanding of hydraulics and urban planning. The discovery of workshop areas for specialized craft production, particularly in stone carving and jade working, underscored the site's economic and cultural importance. Interestingly, the societal organization required for such monumental projects in San Lorenzo can be compared to ancient Egypt's construction of the pyramids, with both civilizations mobilizing vast labor forces and demonstrating advanced knowledge in engineering and logistics, reflecting the centralization of power and resources. The site of La Venta in Tabasco became another focal point of Olmec studies, with excavations in the 1940s and 1950s, also spearheaded by unearthing a wealth of artifacts.
But there's very interesting artifacts and sites below south of Mexico City that myself, I've been visiting them for years.
These included more colossal heads, jade figurines, and intricately carved stelae. La Venta was recognized as a major ceremonial center that flourished around 900 to 400 BCE. The site's layout, featuring a large pyramid, plazas, and stone monuments, illustrated the Olmec's architectural and artistic achievements. La Venta's Great Pyramid, a clay structure about 34 meters high, is one of the earliest pyramid-like constructions in Mesoamerica. This pyramid, along with the site's central axis and complex layout, influenced later Mesoamerican ceremonial centers. The discovery of elaborate burials and offering caches containing jade, serpentine, and other exotic materials indicated the site's religious and political significance. One of the most fascinating artifacts from La Venta is the Ambassador Offering, a cache containing 16 male figurines and 6 celts arranged in a ritualistic pattern. These figurines, made of jade and other precious materials, appear to be involved in a ceremonial scene, suggesting a complex social hierarchy and religious practices. La Venta also revealed numerous basalt columns used in both construction and as altars, some intricately carved with symbols and deities, indicating a sophisticated belief system and a high level of artistic achievement. Tres Zapotes continued to yield important discoveries, including the famous Stela C, which contained one of the earliest known long count dates in Mesoamerica, corresponding to 32 BCE. This finding provided crucial evidence of the Olmec's influence on later Mesoamerican cultures, particularly in the development of calendrical systems. Tres Zapotes also provided evidence of a prolonged occupation, with artifacts ranging from early Olmec to post-Olmec times, indicating the site's long-term importance. The site featured multiple phases of construction, with mounds, plazas, and stone sculptures suggesting continuous development and adaptation. Laguna de los Cerros, another critical Olmec site, yielded numerous artifacts and monumental sculptures. The site's strategic location near trade routes highlights its role as a commercial hub. Artifacts such as pottery, figurines, and tools suggest extensive trade and interaction with neighboring cultures, further illustrating the Olmec's wide-ranging influence. The Olmec were master artisans in jade and serpentine, creating intricate masks, figurines, and celts often depicting shamanistic or deified figures. The craftsmanship and detail of these objects indicate a high level of artistic skill and the importance of these materials in Olmec society. The Olmec were also pioneers in the production of rubber. They developed techniques to process latex from local rubber trees, which they used to create balls for the Mesoamerican bull game, a ritualistic and possibly competitive sport that held significant cultural importance. Many Olmec artifacts depict shamanistic figures and were jaguar motifs, suggesting a belief system centered around shamanic practices and animal transformation. These motifs are believed to represent the powerful connection between humans and the spiritual world, with shamans acting as intermediaries. The Olmec's extensive trade networks allowed them to influence and interact with distant cultures. They traded jade, obsidian, and other valuable materials, spreading their cultural and technological innovations across Mesoamerica. Research on the Olmec civilization continues to this day, with new discoveries and interpretations emerging from ongoing excavations and advanced technologies like remote sensing and DNA analysis. These efforts are steadily unveiling more about the Olmec's social structure, economy, and interactions with neighboring cultures. Recent studies have utilized LiDAR technology to uncover previously hidden structures and settlements, providing a more comprehensive view of Olmec urbanism and their environmental adaptations. LiDAR has been especially useful in mapping out the complex layouts of Olmec cities, revealing the sophistication of their urban planning and their ability to adapt to the challenging environment of the Gulf Coast.